So why are the old politicians reluctant to, to mentor the youth into politics? Because I'm sure it's also one of the reasons why some youths are even reluctant to enter, because they don't have that mentorship. The old one they just want to be there. They want to sit on that seat. They don't want to stand up, give room or space for the younger ones. So why is it that, or is it not so?
Because they just want to keep being in that position and not knowing to them that time is everything. And yes, they can be today, but tomorrow they won't be there. And so that is why we have seen a sudden change in our country today, whereby all politicians are trying to put their children into position or into politics.
Welcome to the conversation where we dive into the most pressing issues of our time, exploring the ideas, perspective, and experiences that shape our world. I'm your host, Beatrice Okinbaloye. Let's get the conversation started. The youth of any nations are regarded as the power, aspiration, and the future of that population. The youth are the engine room that drive the future and on who the future of that entity rests. Nigeria, it is said to be among the luckiest nations that has a huge, strong, brilliant, and vibrant population who has over the years recorded excellence in academics, tech, and innovation survey in ICT, but with a near minimal performance or achievement in politics and governance. So, on today's episode of the conversation, we ask, where are the Nigerian youth in politics and governance of our nation? For the next 1 hour, we will be talking about youth in politics. Our guest today is architect Nasir Suleiman Muhammed, the president of United Nigerian Youth Congress. It is a national youth movement for promoting peace, unity, patriotism, and good governance. It's pride itself as the biggest youth organization in Nigeria. It's good to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
So let me ask you, in your own perspective, who are the youths?
All right, on a simple term, to define the youth is saying the youth are the future of the country. The youth are the country. This is just a simple term to define who are youths. And any country that have youth, it is expected that the country will succeed. So that is what the youths are.
Okay, thank you very much. So why are the youth referred to as the powerhouse of any country, of a nation?
Because they are the driving force to change. They are the driving force to the economy, and they are the driving force to development. So, like, if you can look at Nigeria today, you find that over 60% are youths. So if you have a population of over 200 million, and then you have over 60 to 70% are youths, then they will be called the driving force to change and to development.
Okay, so can we say in the true sense of it that Nigerian youths are the powerhouse of Nigeria?
Yes. Nigerian youths are the power to change. Okay. They are the power to the development of Nigeria.
In what essence?
In all essence, to the fact that it's just that we don't utilize the opportunities that we have. Look at Japan today. They have a declining on youth age, and they have already declared themselves, as an emergency situation, because without the youth there is no nation. Without the youth there is no development or progress or new ideas.
Okay, thank you very much. So like you said, that over 60% of Nigeria population are youths. So have they in any way been assets to the nation? Since the 60% of the Nigeria populations are youths, so have they been an asset to the nation?
Yes, we are an asset to the nation. But unfortunately, we haven't taken our rightful place in the decision making of the country. And that is why today the United Nigerian Congress decided to take a new dimension by bringing all the youths together so that we can maintain that our stand and also we can collect that our, advantage as the youth of the country.
So if the Nigerian youths are an asset to the nation, so are they part of the solution or the problem?
They are the solution to Nigeria.
Okay. So are you saying Nigerian youth have never been a problem to Nigeria?
No. Nigerian youths can never be a problem to Nigeria. But those, let's say, in positions of power, the old people that we have, if I may call them that, they are the majority problem that we face in our country today. Even though to some extent, our youth are not, trying to stand and also fight for the positions, for their rightful place, within the structure of the country. And that is why we have taken a new dimension by creating the biggest and most structured movement in the history of Nigeria, youth movement for that matter. Looking at our structure, you find that even political parties have no structure like our own. But the most important thing is for us to, first of all, come up together, build what is called ideology. With that ideology is what has been missing for a very long time in our country. Without that ideology, we cannot hope to achieve a greater Nigeria. But that ideology will be a driving force to us, fighting for the positions needed and also having the right leadership for our country and for the future generations.
Okay, that's impressive. So, the president that called the youth as the lazy Nigerian youths, and Nigerian youths lazy because for a president to make that statement about the youth, that a lazy Nigerian youth. So, in what essence has Nigerian youth been lazy? And now, as a president of the Youth Congress, so from your side, from places that the way you see the youth. So, can you judge a youth like being lazy, or Nigerian youth lazy?
The honest truth is there is problem in our country and there is a huge challenge. And you cannot blame the youth because they are lazy or they are, less productive.
So are you admitting that Nigerian youths are lazy?
What I'm trying to say is our leaders, or let's say our parents, didn't teach us what needs to be done. If you look at Nigeria, let's say from 1960s, the leaders today who at that time were very young were taught very well on the issue of struggle, on the issue of them contributing to their society and to their country. But unfortunately today, Nigerians are being taught on the issue of materialism, and of course there's an influence of westernization. Of course there's lack of creativity, but you cannot blame the youths because the leaders, showed us, that way. So, but in generally, we are trying to change the narration by, bringing most productive and most active youths into positions of authority in the country.
Okay, so if I get you, the other time I asked, has the being used be a problem or solution? You ascertain that it's a solution. But now I'm asking that as Nigerian youths been lazy, because a president called us lazy Nigerian youths. I'm sure you are aware of that.
Yeah, I'm very aware.
And now you're defending the laziness of Nigerian, if I can get your point but there are solutions to the country. So if the Nigerian youths are a solution to the country, how come they have been lazy? So I want to know
I'm not defending the situation. I'm trying to be realist.
Yes, that's what's up.
And in a realist approach, you'll find that we'll look for the cause and then what made that to be what it is. And I told you, our leaders have failed for a very long time. First of all, the idea, our family institutions have also failed. That respect, in leaders have vanished for a very long time because how the leaders have portrayed themselves and have taught the youth. And so you cannot blame a child for his father's action. But what we are trying to do is to change the narrative, to change the picture and to change the ideas. Yes, there are problems with the Nigerian youths. Yes, we are less productive. Yes, we are less creative. But why is that so? Because our leaders have failed. And what we are trying at the moment is to try as much as possible to bring the best and ablest of our people with fortified characters in both local, state, and federal levels. And over 13 years today, we have been trying so much by awareness campaigns, by direct involvement, trying to involve the youth, by sitting with the decision makers, trying to have a seat, within the round table. And yes, we have achieved a lot, even though it's not enough, but we are hoping to achieve more, and Nigerian youths will be more productive and very, very creative.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So in what way has your organization, through the campaigns and other things you've mentioned, how effective have that been on the youth? Or are you seeing the changes so that we won't be able to say that we can able to prove our elders wrong, that the youths, the Nigerian youth in question, are not lazy, because everybody, any small thing you hear the elders doing their time. It was not done like that. It was like this and like this. You get what I'm trying to say? And they'll push the blame to civilization, modernization, technology, advanced. They'll be like, now that's what changed everything. But since your organization is also part of an informative aspect, so how are you passing the information to the youth, and what's the reflex? Well, what are you saying back from that?
It's not only an informative, organization, but organization that will deal with action.
Yes.
And that is why, based on, our struggles, in this 2027, we hope and pray, and we are also fighting to make sure that we have search and look for the best of our youth, from the local government, from the state level, and to the national level, so that by 2027, we will have a lot of our people, a lot of the youths, competent youths, into the positions of authority. So part of our action is engagement. And of course, building that ideology has always been the key challenge that we face, even in our current political stage that we are, the current political situation of the country. You'll find that ideology is what has been missing for a very long time. And whether our political parties, whether our people in politics, they have no ideology. And that is what led to the situation that we are currently facing in our country. Lack of ideology. So now the most important thing is transferring that ideological aspect of nationalism, of true patriotism, and with the belief that hard work always pays. So if we can be able to pass this ideological aspect to our youth, I will tell you that Nigerians are not lazy. And most of Nigerians are only looking for opportunities. And yes, the more motivation and how they can carry out, their daily activities. Those who have the ideas in our country today, whether if you're talking of the economic aspect, whether the productive aspects, you'll find that those who have ideas have no access to the resources needed. So we are trying so much to see that those who have ideas have a place in our country. And so through that, we can be able to change the narrative.
Okay, that's impressive. So as long as the youth can be given opportunity, they'll be able to exploit and show how hardworking and effective and a good contribution to the nation. That's thank you very much. Okay, I would love to ask that we say Nigerian has been fair to the youth in terms of moral trainings, educational opportunities, parenting, and mentorship. We think Nigeria has been fair to youth in those aspects. because of those elders. They are informed. So have they been doing their work well? As Nigeria be fair to youth, in moral trainings, educational aspects, parenting, and other side?
Absolutely not. Our leaders haven't been fair to Nigeria in general, because most of our leaders today benefited from what we call Nigeria of the past. The giant of Africa had a very all the resources needed, the potential and all the resources needed. But kleptocrats, whether you call them oligarchs, are the major problems that Nigeria have faced. And our youths have not been given enough opportunity. But what I want to remind everyone is, whether you're talking of power or opportunities, sometimes opportunities or power are not given. You must work hard for it and fight for it. And that is why we took our time over 13 years today to form a structure that will challenge, whether you call it those in positions of power or the authority, so that we can be able to penetrate through and bring the best of our people with fortified character. And we're hoping in coming years, you will see a tsunami of young Nigerians into positions of authority, because we will try as much as possible to push Nigerians into the system and chase the old criminals away. If we really want to succeed as a nation, we have to work hard. So yes, we are not given enough opportunity, but the ball is in our court. What we do today will determine our future. And we have been doing these struggles so that we will have a better and a brighter future. And our country will succeed.
If the Nigerian youths are not given enough opportunity, what of an aspect of parenting and mentorship? Because I know that perhaps some elders can be willing to train, but how some youths might not be willing or might not be ready to be under someone. So our youths, the youths have those vigor of this resistance, stubbornness sometimes. But have you seen aspects like that some elders are with open hands, like, okay, come, let's train you, let's mentor you into how things are done in life, or in the aspect of educational opportunity, of scholarship. I know during those days, our elders enjoy a lot of scholarship from outside the country or even within. But is it rampant now, or it doesn't exist anymore? And how willing are the youths in embracing those stuff? Because I'm sure not all elders can be stingy with what they have. So some are open and they can tell you that, oh, come, we will train you. But are the youths willing to learn?
First of all, the institutions of our families have failed.
Okay, yeah, we start from the grassroots.
Our educational system has also failed. And yes, our societies have also failed. They said, maybe in Hausa, what they say is, I'm trying to interpret it in English.
All right.
Whatever you're going to do, you start it from home.
Yes.
So our parents, in the majority part, have failed to address what should have been the future of our country by telling their children to be good, by telling them the consequences of not being good, the dangers of not being creative, by believing in the youth, in their children. And then our educational system have failed, which the curriculum of our schools today is not in any way helping our country. And now I'm talking about the grassroots, I'm talking about the basics. That is why today, in all developed countries, you'll find that the basic education, because of the importance of basic education, it's one of the most important educational system anywhere in the world. And that is why in developed country, it has to be free qualitative, that is standard, and free, of course, and it's compulsory. That is free, standard, and compulsory. And those curriculums should have been what will guide the Nigerian youth or Nigerian people by teaching them the basic concept of reality of life, by inserting patriotism on them, by making them believe in themselves. So our educational system has contributed a lot towards the situation that we find ourselves today. And yes, the government have failed.
Okay.
The government have failed in not addressing problems that may occur in the next 20, 30, 50 years. And that is why our leaders of, let's say, 30 years back, even 30 years back, as short as 30 years back, they would have addressed issues today's issues, because issues are more of multiplying every day, and leaders who have foresight will always focus on what will happen in the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years to come. But unfortunately, we didn't have leaders who have that foresight. And I remember some time ago, General Yakubu Gowon was speaking about during his time when he was head of state. And he was saying that there was too much money in Nigeria. In developed country, they would have used that too much money to save the future of this country. Whether to invest in education, whether to invest more on electricity, whether to invest more on industrialization, on how the country can progress. But unfortunately, at that time, well, they love their country, but they don't have that foresight to understand what will come in the next 10, 20 years. If I'm the one, I would have think of something in the next 20, 30 years. By now, we wouldn't have faced the issue of electricity, because we had the less population at that time. We have the financial capacity, and it was a military regime. You can impose anything. So by that time, during the military eras, we would have solved majority of our problems, and we would have been in this mess that we are today. So it is clear to say that Nigerians are paying for the sins of the past, the sins of our leaders, the sins, of not having leaders who thinks about the future, who only thinks about the present. So, the danger that is coming today is that most of our leaders today, from governors, are not even thinking in any way one step ahead. What is important for national development is not important to them. You will see a governor spending billions feeding people. Is that a way to development? They said if you really mean well for someone, teach him how to fish, not give him a free fish.
Yes.
And so the issue of economy, our economy is not moving well, and it is all because of our leaders. And of course, the acceptance of true capitalism, of total capitalism, which our country today, we are not even practicing that capitalism. It's more of a bourgeois system that we are practicing today in our country. Because if we are practicing capitalism, there would have been middle class, but unfortunately there's no more middle class in our country today. Our industries are dying, and Nigerians accept, our leaders accept to privatize all our industries. Our leaders chose to leave the issue of SOEs, state-owned enterprises, and that was the beginning of the industrialization of our country. So now, in a general context, you find out that the parents have failed, our educational system have failed, the government have failed, and these are the major concerns that we are trying to address. And we can only achieve that by fighting for what is right. And this is what we have been doing.
Okay, that's impressive. Thank you very much. So, are the youths of our country willing to to be under mentorship, under training from our elders? We know that they failed, but it says we can still learn from them because they would talk from experience for what has gone through. I know some are being stingy, they are being set back, but if we can push a little further, maybe they'll be willing to learn. So what can we do in that kind of aspect? Are we going to mobilize the youth out so that they can have that zeal to learn? Or because I know some youths are not willing to learn. But in situations like that, so what can we do?
I only accept to learn what I think is right. And yes, I have that understanding to know what is right or wrong. But what these elders today are teaching the youths, in most cases, you find that they are not the right aspect. But yes, they are a lot to learn from our leaders or from the elders. But when you come to, the issue of Nigeria, you find out that most of these corruptions, our leaders are using the youth to perpetuate, whether insecurity, whether the corruption. So I'm not ready to learn issue of corruption in Nigeria.
Okay.
But yes, it's open. I sit with elders. Now I'm talking in person. I always try to learn the good part of our leaders or the elders. But when something is wrong, I have the knowledge and ability to understand that some of the things maybe they are doing in action are against all ethics and values of our country.
Okay.
And that is why we are somehow different with others.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go on a short break, and when we come back, we will talk about youth in politics. Welcome back. This is The Conversation, and we have been speaking about the Nigerian youth. So today we are talking about the Nigerian youth in politics. And if you're just joining us, this is The Conversation. So let me ask you, sir, since 1999, when the Fourth Republic have started, has Nigerian youth performed in politics?
No, they haven't to a very large extent, no. To a very large extent, no.
Can you be more explicit in that?
Youth involvement in politics means that the youth will have to participate and will have to be given opportunities and being in the positions of authority, and yes, being part of the decision makers, in the round table. But somehow, from 1999, during the Fourth Republic, as you have said, Nigerian youths haven't participated enough. Even though if you look at 1999, most of our leaders today, you find that they are a little younger than what they are today. Yes. But since 1999, they kept holding the positions of authority to themselves, despite their age, despite the fact that ideas always come from youth. So Nigerian youths are not given enough opportunity, most especially these days.
Okay, so since 1999, Nigerian has not really been given the opportunity. But the Nigerian has a law, they're not too young to run acts. I'm sure you're aware of that law.
I'm aware of.
Yes, they're not too young to run that, which reduces the age limits for participation of Nigeria youth in politics. Have they taken advantage of that law? Has the youth taken advantage of that law? Because if the law was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari on May. So, and since we have that law, I'm sure the youth should have come out to participate in politics. So, since that law has started, have they taken advantage of that law? They make use of it.
Signing a bill or reducing the age of, to contest, of course, it's a very good development. But that is one thing. And the second thing is utilizing that opportunity and making it in action is the hardest part. Because now, let me give you an example. Do you know how much it will cost for someone to run for just House of Representatives? If you look at the 2023 election, bring APC for example. To contest for House of Representatives, I think you need 20 million just to purchase a form.
Yes.
How is that suitable, or even, you know, a fair playing ground for our youth to be part of, you know, the politics or being contesting for elections? So in the first aspect, it's even against the youths, because most of us, if maybe your father, your dad is a politician or is a rich business person, you can have access to, let's say, 30 million for younger people who are, let's say, from 20 something to 30. You find it's very difficult. So it is, we haven't utilized that opportunity because there hasn't been that opportunity to even be utilized.
So if they have not utilized the opportunity, what are the problems?
Yeah, I just stated it.
You mentioned financial aspects.
Yes.
Is that the only reason why?
Yeah, that is the major reason. Because now, just to purchase a form, to even be an aspirant of, let's say, a political party or you know, contesting for House of Representatives alone will cost you 20 million. And how much will you spend for logistics?
And let's talk of the campaign.
Yes.
And all that.
And how our society have been corrupt these days. You'll find out that if you don't have money, people will even laugh at you. Why are you even contesting?
Oh, so it's only the rich that go into the politics.
Yes, and the sons of the richest, sons of the politicians. Yes, that is true. And that is what we are trying to break. That barrier that kept, you know, the right people into positions, we are trying to break it. And by God willing, we will break it. And we'll have the competency will come first. And any other things will come after.
Okay, so let me chip in this. You said the aspects of financials. What about the aspect of corruptions, the aspect of being reluctant to leave the posts, no time to they didn't give the youth the opportunity to step in, or the aspect of violence, because everybody knows sometimes politics can be a dirty game, and the youth are too young to to experience that. They might be afraid that if I said I want to go for this, it will just come on cancel. They'll be like, before you know, they are threatening you, kidnapping, there is violence. Are those things not common too? Is it not part of the reason why it limits the youth from stepping in?
You see, this situation that we are today has deliberately been made up by our leaders and the politicians. The issue of corruption has become so rampant and everywhere, to the fact that people are only aspiring to be in positions just because to change their lifestyle. And yes, if you are in politics, what you are always thinking of, or when you are in position, is how to get money, to buy people, to buy the society, to buy the environment, to buy everyone.
Exactly.
And so the politicians have shown, the youths that, going into politics is all about getting money and not that ideological aspect and not that good intent. And that is why majority of people contesting, you find out that they don't have anything in the head. All what they have is to drive big cars. Yes, that is the truth. To buy big cars, to change their outfits, so that they can be in the high class of the society. And that is a disaster to our country. Because if things like this are allowed to happen, to continue, then it's a pity to our country. It's a pity.
Okay, that's impressive. Thank you very much. So the other time we talk about mentorship, when I was asking if but why are the old politicians reluctant to mentor the youth into politics? Because I'm sure it's also one of the reasons why some youths are even reluctant to enter, because they don't have that mentorship. the old one they just want to be there. They want to sit on that seat. They don't want to stand up, give room or space for the younger ones. So why is it that, or is it not so?
Because they just want to keep being in that position and not knowing to them that time is everything. And yes, they can be today, but tomorrow they won't be there. And so that is why we have seen a sudden change in our country today, whereby all politicians are trying to put their children into position or into politics. We have seen them countless, we have seen El-Rufai with his son in Kaduna as a member. We have seen Ganduje in Kano with his son, contesting. We have seen similar politicians outside because they believe, I don't think they even believe that one day they will get old. But this is just the one reality that, they shouldn't have forget about it because it will happen. And so that is why when we come up to this, we made it ever possible to make sure that the future is being secured. And, competency should come first. And yes, the society must change. And it can't just happen at once. It's, it's a gradual process. It will take a long time, but we are doing it. And hopefully, I told you, hopefully by 2027, we will see the tsunami of young Nigerians into House of Representatives, even into the Senate, and we will see it. Most of these politicians are not even accessible. You can't even have access to the member of your constituency. They are running away from people because they know that the image that they have portrayed on those positions is of a negative aspect. They have shown Nigerians that if you want to get rich, just go into politics. And so that is why they see all people as liability. You see, you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Those with power look at a common man as a liability. And while the common man these days sees the politician as his road to his destiny, to him getting rich. And so we don't question our politicians. We don't question our leaders. Where did you get this money? What are you doing? What have you done? And let me cite an example. In 2023, there was a town hall meeting with the National Assembly, which I was invited. And so I was given an opportunity to speak, and I told the members of members of the House of Representatives there, I tell them, look, based on small analysis, we have been talking about budget every year, Nigerian budget every year. I said, look, if 30% of our budget will be utilized correctly, just 30%, from 1999 till date, there wouldn't have been any project left in Nigeria. From 1999 till date. And I gave them an example with one of the members in my constituency, who, by the way, I was in his office some time ago before having that town hall meeting. And he showed me a document of his predecessor. It's a project of 1.8 billion naira, which in paper it is, in fact, it is even a done project, a completed project.
Was the project completed?
In reality, it doesn't exist.
So it's just on paper. It doesn't exist.
Yes, that is a sham project. And this has been happening for a very long time in our country. And that is why I say from 1999 till date, if only 30% of our budget will be utilized correctly and in the right way, we wouldn't have been in this problem that we are today. Because two things have been happening in our projects, in our budget, either by sham projects or government inflated projects. A project that will cost 10 million naira, they will end up budgeting it as 100 billion naira. And it has been happening. Go to NDDC. As of last year, there are thousands and thousands of projects. The money have been removed, but they are not in existence. Or a project that will cost just 100 million, they will budget it for over 2 billion naira. That is government inflated projects. And that is why we are what we are today. Whether members of the House of Representatives, National Assembly in general, whether the executives, you understand what I mean?
Yes.
All of them are having their own kind of, contribution towards the corrupt aspects, corrupt things happening in the country. But somehow, of recent, I realized something again, that the House of Representatives at the moment are trying so hard to bring people together. In fact, that was why I was even in the 2023 town hall meetings. So they have been arranging those kind of meetings to sit and discuss. But what I realize is the executives are one of the major problems that we have. And now if I'm talking about the House of National Assembly, I'm only talking about the House of Representatives.
Oh, not the same.
I will never, I can't, I don't have anything to say about them. You understand? I don't have anything good to say about them.
Oh.
And so I will just leave it that way.
Oh.
The House of Representatives somehow are trying a little, even though they need to do better, under this leadership of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. It somehow, he showed, in fact, there are all this engagement, it shows that there has never been a speaker who have, engaged the youth or engaged the general public.
Oh, so they show much interest in the youth.
In the youth, and in the general public.
Okay.
But I realize the executive are one of the major problems, because they will invite you to a program, they will just speak, but they will end up running because they don't want you to speak, because they don't have the answers to your question. I think last few months, 2 months ago, I was also invited to one of, they call it dialogue, in the National Assembly through this speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Yes, we were there, and as usual, the House of the House of Representatives were there, but the executives will just come and give you lectures. But when it's time for you to speak, they will run away.
Oh, so they won't be there to get a reply.
Yes. So there's a total lack of engagement because they don't have anything to show.
So why is it dialogue?
That is the question. Why is it dialogue? A question that they can't answer it. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of challenges. Those in power are not accessible. You can't even access them. You can't even question them because they are running away from the people.
So to get mentorship from them is totally
it's even almost impossible, because you can only get mentorship with someone who is willing to sit and discuss with you. But someone who is even afraid to answer questions of, let's say, in the position that he is, then there's a problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Since the 1999 that you said Nigerian youth has not really been active in politics. Oh, is it that Nigerian youths are afraid to enter into what many of Nigerians call the murky waters of Nigeria politics? Is it they are afraid to enter into politics?
It's not that they are afraid, but those who have the resources, now I'm talking about the financial resources, will not allow the Nigerian youth to participate or to be. And I'll cite an example. There's a recent coalition of the ADC, which, by the way, I call them a bunch of same people, whether APC, PDP are all the same. After spending over 30 years, over 3 decades of holding positions, and now in the same next election, in the same current situation that we are, they have organized themselves and calling themselves the solution, the messiahs of Nigeria. Which, have they forgotten that they were once governors? Most of them were governors. Some of them were ministers. We even have vice presidents among them. So what I'm trying to say is, after decades of having opportunities, and now after almost 30 years, they're still telling us that they are the solution to Nigerian problem. How is that even possible?
Okay.
Then where we are coming through now is, that is a wheel that keeps spinning on the heads of Nigerians. And we are very determined to break that wheel. And that is why in this 2025, we'll begin to witness something very big under the United Nigerian Congress. We will be having several conferences with what we call patriotic rallies, and Nigerians too will begin to witness, change. There will be a balance of power, in the political arena of the country, and we are very determined to make that possible.
Okay, I actually, since you've already talked about the financial aspect, but you've made us understand that money is a serious problem for Nigerian youths who aspire to go into politics. So how can they find a way around it? No, since to the price for each candidate is quite expensive. So what are we going to do about that? Because I don't think they are going to bring it down.
They won't. They won't, I'm sure.
They won't bring it down. So the upcoming 2027 election, are we going to be watching, or is it that the youth will not engage again in the upcoming 2027 election? Since, because we don't know, the last election, you said 100 million. So the upcoming one, maybe it's 200 million. We don't know, because definitely I know it might be an increase. It might not be decreased. They won't reduce the price. So you couldn't get the 100 million to register. So how much more if it's increased? Because it will give it won't allow the youth to participate, since the money is a problem. So what can we do about that?
Well, as far as 2027 is concerned, let them put it 1 billion. But what they don't know is Nigerians will be fed up with all this, jamboree, situation that we are.
Okay.
What Nigerians will start witnessing is a huge mobilization. We will mobilize as many Nigerians as we can, perhaps hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions. And then we'll mobilize them and, of course, insert that ideology on them. That will be the only way that we can reclaim our country. And we have that determination to do that. Whether APC, whether PDP, whether ADC, they will all fail. Because we'll bring a new reality to our country.
So are you planning to solve the financial aspect, the money problem in politics?
If we mobilize people and insert that ideology on them, there will be change. And yes, people will fight for what they believe in. They said any idea that is not transformed into ideology is an idea dead on arrival. So, but this is an idea that will be set upon ideology. An ideology, of nationalism, an ideology of patriotism, an ideology of peace, an ideology of struggles. And Nigerians will believe in that, and we will achieve by making, through that mobilization, we will achieve it. So the issue of money, let them bring all the resources they have. But we are very talented people. We are very smart and intelligent. They might mistake us of, young people. Yes, we are young, but young people always have young ideas, good ideas. And so we have the idea to challenge them. And that is our determination.
I think that's ideology, that's perspective. The youth has been using it from day one, since you can't beat them with money. They've been trying to make use of their brain, but we haven't really.
That is who, the politicians? Who are
the youth. We can't beat them with money. The youth don't have the kind of money that
we
they
don't have, honestly.
Exactly. So, but no, they are trying to make use of their, their intellect. With what they know, their knowledge.
No, what you should understand is
not.
Yeah,
we are not seeing the results yet. So I want to know.
Despite their resources, they are still using young people. Whether to insert for their work, yes. Whether to insert, chaos. Whether in the intellectual part, they are all youths. So one thing I want to tell you is, we are trying to change that narration
Okay.
Because this time around, we want our youth to show more of resilience and to show more of determination to create a positive change in our country. And you will begin to witness it.
Okay.
There's something I promise.
But do you also know that when they want to do their dirty work, they make use of the youth often? No, because the touts, those talk that you see is those youths.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Eventually, when they are being arrested, you see the majority of them are youths. They are not the elderly one. But how can we change that perspective that, okay, you won't use the youth for your dirty work?
Most of
we
our
need
youth,
the youth for the improvement.
Yes, most of
so
our
they
youth
can be active in politics.
Most of our youth lack guidance.
Yes.
And let's say a platform that will bring everyone together. And the United Nigerians Congress has been a platform that will guide the youth and of course will bring everyone together. So if we have that direction and guide, I'm telling you, we will achieve a lot. I sat with one of a former governor, and I told him, look, Your Excellency, we have every determination to change the narration in this country. And today we have the structure to even make a president. So he was he told me directly that, okay, let's bet me and you, let us contest.
Was he being spectacle, was not convinced, or he doesn't have that 100%?
Because he doesn't believe in our abilities. But what I'm trying to tell you is, this time around is different. Because we have youth who are determined, and the current situation, everyone is tired of what is happening in Nigeria. And the only people who have that determination, who have that will to create change are the Nigerian youths. And we have that determination. And trust me, we will achieve it. And I told him, he's one of the ADC, member, one of the ADC prominent figure. I told him, look, Your Excellency, if I'm to contest today for president, I will be an easy selling than each and every one of you. All this, whether from APC, all this ADC, top, top members. I told them I will be an easy selling than any one of you.
Okay, we're kind of out of time, but let me just ask this: your organization, do they have any engagement with the various political parties to encourage youth participation in political affairs?
No, we don't have, because we are a non-partisan movement.
Okay.
And what we are trying to do is trying to create that ideology to even stand and fight for what you believe in. And so it is stage by stage. We believe that at this moment we are trying to fight.
Okay.
The next stage will be something else. But at this moment, we are trying to unite Nigerians to come up together, irrespective of religion, tribe, or any political differences. So now it's more of a platform to bring Nigerians together. Okay. And then to prepare for what lies ahead. Because we have that determination to take over our country.
Okay.
And we will make it a reality.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank our guest, Architect Nasir Suleiman Muhammed, for coming to our platform and for sharing your insights and perspective. So our viewers, thank you for watching the conversation. And until next time, keep conversing, keep watching. I am Beatrice Okinbaloye. Goodbye.